Hi, we're Ian and Julie. Follow us on our tiny homestead and our debt-free project of a lifetime, the building of a home here in the Pyrenees, and all of this alongside our full-time jobs.
It is now time to set out the post. Got rid of all that dust. So I'm working off my drawings. I've recalculated absolutely everything about a dozen times now. So I'm pretty happy with where the posts are going to be. There's going to be 9 posts, 4 on the front here and 5 on the rear. And it's really just in coordinate where the supporting walls are going to be. So on the front, there's only one tiny supporting wall just there, and then a main one coming back of the kitchen just here. So I've already calculated where these LVL beam pockets have been. So I've got a center arrow here. So here is my center line. I've drawn it down the block, but I'm going to use the laser here, which you can just about see, and then get a drill in to about there. Using a concrete screw. That laser is hitting straight through the concrete screw, and that will be my line now on the ground that I can pull a string and position where my posts are going to be. And now I've got to do the other LVL and this perpendicular one which runs across here, which the kitchen wall will stick on.
So whilst I was on the mower cutting, Ian's been going around putting all blanking plates onto the walls where all our cuts were that were a little bit too small to put a block in. So he's used OSB with a couple of threaded rods. So when it comes both sides, so when it comes to filling in with concrete, nothing's going to come out. And then afterwards, we'll just be able to grind those off and leave the rods in. So there's another one just there. So that's all our pads blanked in, ready. So we're just finishing little details so that we can actually get the concrete pump booked, and in the meantime get on with our pads that need to go in the centre here.
So as I was measuring out for the posts, I noticed that this was actually 10 mil out. So I've had to cut a little bit of extra out of here, and because there's an extra gap, I've put these flanges on now. So I should be able to clamp that nicely in there. But yeah, it was bothering me yesterday. We were measuring out just for an idea of where the kitchen was going and everything else, and there was a slight discrepancy. And when we measured again today, it was 10 mil, which isn't a huge amount. But if that then adds on to another 10 mil, another 10 mil, well, you know, the whole house is out. Good morning. Well, I've come up early. We're on a little bit of a tidy streak. This area here, I want to use for gravel delivery. I need a load of 020 delivered very soon. So I've got to get rid of these curbstones. I've just put them onto a different pallet so I can take the original pallet back to the builder's merchant and get a deposit back. Going to get rid of some of this rebar in the holes we're about to dig, and we just got to get rid of this roofing. Meanwhile,
I'm getting rid of the sand because we need to free the trailer up for other projects that we need to get down here.
Plus we're going to get rid of all of those pallets just there back to the builder's merchants. As we said, they're worth 20 odd euros each. So yeah,
so it's good workout this morning. Get rid of the sand, and there's quite a lot to get rid of. Why did we get so much? Here goes.
And I'm in the workshop basically building a load of forms. So these are my forms for the 9 post pads. So they're going to be 70 by 70 and they're going to be 50 deep, but 145, which is the size of the form, sticking out of the ground just to make a step. And that will allow me to get all that 020 down and compacted around these forms. So that is the job for today, is to get these placed and marked out. So tomorrow, because it's Sunday today, we'll get the mini digger out and get those 9 holes dug, and I can then order the concrete. I'm not going to order it until they're all done. I don't want that pressure of getting all these in place. So
the crows are spoiling me today. Every day we come to site, I find not one. Today I've got 3 walnuts every day in this one spot. It's the crows that keep coming over with the walnuts, and they must have their little feast just here in this one spot.
post number 2 is 4320. So 4320. 43. You on?
Yep.
4320. Okay. 8638. Now that should be this crossover line. 8368. 836. You on it?
Yep.
Yep. You might have wondered why I was putting this cross with string on the bottom of these forms. Well, my idea is to line up this center of this cross with the dot, which is the exact measurement on this string, like so. And that then negates the need to put strings, you know, parallel all the way up. So instead of batter boards. So then I've made up from 2 offcuts of straight edge a 90 square. And then just to get that square on the line, which again doesn't really, you know, it's only a concrete form, but I can put that there and then just twist that round and get him nice and square with the line. I will then spray inside, mark it up with paint, and then dig out a slightly smaller square than this one, because I want this to form the edges. So I don't want, like I did when I dug my footings, there's a lot of breakaway and things like that. So this is going to be this height above ground, and I'll just pin it in. But we're just going to go through each of these posts. I've run out of paint, so I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow to get the paint to mark it up. But we'll get all of these set, marked, and we'll get the mini digger out. That's the next step.
Another little job we have to do. Now I've got all the sand out the trailer, is fill it with all these pallets, because we get quite a bit of money back off them. So off to the builders merchants in the morning with them. There you go, you okay?
Half of them are really rough.
Oh, we've got 11 to take back.
I don't know how they're worth any money, but
That's all 11 used pallets ready to go back to the builders merchants tomorrow. And Tuesday, my trailer then will be free. I can go and get some more compost because I've started tidying up my veggie garden, and where I've cleared them, obviously the composter's compressed a little. I've got lots of onions and shallots to plant. So I'm just going to give everything a bit of a tidy up, more compost, and we're good to go.
so this little tiny pallet, I've got to move these all forward, but yeah, it's quite stiff. So I'm just going to grease it up a bit.
Hopefully I'll be able to slide them better now.
These are blooming heavy, so I'm using my mallet.
Good old kick with a boot.
Right, that looks like it's about central. So all of our pads are now positioned. They're not set. Like I said earlier on, I've just got to spray paint them inside, and that's where I'm going to dig with a digger. And then we'll remove these, dig the holes, and then set the strings down again, and then reposition these forms, and then knock in stakes and get them exactly level, so we know the height of these platforms are going to be in conjunction with the pockets that I've put in over there and at the ends
both
for the
ends.
LVLs. So yeah, not a bad day today.
Yeah.
Nice and quiet. It's a Sunday, so we're not doing too much. Tidied up the site, got the forms all set in, and we're ready to go tomorrow to order some 020, so we can put that in here because it's going to rain shortly, and this is just going to turn to mush.
Sticky.
So we're going to lay that down after we've got the forms in, and then that's somewhere to walk when the concrete comes.
Yeah.
So,
I did make Ian laugh. We were looking at it and I said, it looks like the drawings.
I hope
I
it
know
does.
that's a stupid thing to say, but it actually looks like the drawings we've been studying now. Yeah.
So we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll get on with these digging the forms out. See you tomorrow.
So before we leave today, I'm just going to do a little bit of harvesting in the veggie garden. We've still got lots of produce coming along. I've got my beetroots, I've got so many leeks, so I think I'm going to take a leek home today. I'm still producing lots of French green beans. My carrots, I can't get over my carrots, but we only need 2 today, so I'm going to take a couple of veggies, get back home, and being Sunday, I think it's roast vegetables, roast chicken, and I might even treat into a nice apple and fruit crumble. Back home now, and roast chicken's in the oven. Shouldn't say that too loud, my little girl's behind me, but my roast chicken, it's in the oven. All my vegetables that I picked today from the off-grid plot, they're in the oven roasting, and all my leftovers, it's time to give them to my little chuckle girls behind me, and a few extras. Nothing gets wasted. Right, let's see what we've got. They're actually looking quite nice now. They're getting all their new feathers properly, so they're all fluffed up. A few bald patches still, but they're looking fluffier. Just got back in from doing the chickens. Just check everything's doing all right. Yeah, there. Oh, it's looking good.
Good morning, welcome back. It's the next day. Total change in weather. It's been raining this morning, and that's quite a good thing.
Yeah, because hopefully that'll soften the ground up enough for us, because we do need to get the machines out today and start digging.
And that's today's task.
Yeah.
So we're just going to mark up the forms that we put in yesterday, get the machines out and get these holes dug, because the quicker we can get this concrete in, the better.
Just a rough outline for us, something to work on.
The little Nuoman skid steer, that was a gift from Nuoman. I'm really still pleased with that. That's probably one of the best little bits of kit we have on site. The little Delix dumper, we don't use it a huge amount. We use it a lot for all rocks and everything when we did the garage, but this is perfect because I need two. Julie can pop out with both of these, one after the other, and that will save me waiting for the digging time. And then this is the little Nuoman 1-ton mini excavator that we've had now for quite some time, probably 3.5, nearly 4 years, which is just ridiculous. And as you know, we've had a few little issues, but other than that, all three machines have been invaluable for the build. It's not going too bad. It's not too hard below that crusty surface, but there are a few big rocks which is breaking up the sides. So I'm just going to get rid of this first load and then come back with my tape measure and check out the depth. I don't want to go too deep either. I'm not worried too much where I dump it, because I'll just get the Manitou later and it'll just scoop it all up in one big lump and chuck it on the top. I just want to get the square side. Now I can backfill a little bit with my 020. I'm having a 13 ton of 020 hardcore delivered. And that's so when we have finished these forms, digging all out the forms, I'm going to put hardcore all the way along this base. Quite a few people still saying, oh, I should concrete it, but I just don't have the 4,000 to 5,000 euro that would take that amount of concrete. Plus I'd probably have to dig down more, plus the rebar, plus the leveling. You know, that's probably a good 2 weeks of work of leveling and digging down and getting rid of the soil for very, very minimum use of underneath this crawl space. Yes, I might not get dirty knees, but we're going to hardcore it, put a membrane down, a breathable membrane that will soak up the rain until we get the roof on, and then I'm going to put on a plastic damp-proof membrane. So it's going to be pretty tidy inside and not dirty. It's just not going to have expensive concrete. So The next lot of concrete I need for all these blocks is going to cost nearly 3,000. So, you know, that's nearly 6,500 in concrete just for the foundations. It's a lot of money.
Hole number 2. I'm just getting all the loose out. But yeah, it doesn't matter if we go a little bit deep on these holes. Because we need 2 concrete lorries, we can afford to just be a bit deeper than we need to be. Ooh, just get the loose bits out, then we can get on to the next one. Just finished digging our holes. Bit of a tidy up job. Ian's just putting the bucket back on the Manitou, and I have a feeling he's going to clean up the mess we just made here. This might seem a little odd,
Just did all the little bit of tidying up, put the bucket back on the Manitou. It's getting quite easy now, swapping between the two. This little bit section here, it looks like I'm digging the bank out. Well, ultimately we are just going to cut this corner to bring a wall across. But in the meantime, I just wanted a bit of a flat area here on the shortest part, so I can have a staging area. So when I've got the forks on, I can actually rest them at the top and load things on, like the other day when we did the rebar. So when I get all my lumber and timber and all my eye joists and all the rest of it, I'm hoping I can just load them up there and then bring them down with the telehandler. But this little bit here allows me to get as close as possible without being on a slope. So that was the idea behind that. Right, I think we dug all our holes today. which isn't too bad, seeing that there's going to rain all day. We'll get the forms around tomorrow, leveled up, and then we'll get the 020 all compacted around them. See you tomorrow.